Good morning, everyone. This is Renee Rentmeester. I'm the creator and executive producer of the Cooking Without Looking TV show. And today we have a special treat. We've got one of my favorite couples in the whole world. I know them in person, and if they don't have you laughing by the end of this, I don't know. You'll have to check into a care center because they are pretty funny together. Speaking with Johna Lynn Gravitt
That'd be like
and
a
Mike Gravitt. How are you guys this morning?
good,
Great.
good. And I was gonna say that'd be more like an I don't care center, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Oh
let the jokes
boy.
begin.
Everyone's a comedian. Well, I guess I always consider you guys a perfect couple because Jonna, I see all of your recipes on Facebook, and I just want to jump through and eat them. They sound amazing, and then you're the perfect couple because Mike likes to eat. So, what do you guys say about that?
Well, now I've started adding some photos to my Facebook posts with recipes. So now not only do you get to read about them, but in some cases you get to see them too.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I can't wait. I'm gonna look after we're done talking.
Yeah, and a
So,
shout out to the IRA app, AIRA, because you can connect with a volunteer on IRA who sees your camera through your phone and will take a picture for you and send it to you. So you
that's
turn,
right. I'm
yes,
familiar with them. I spoke with them last year. Yeah, it's amazing. And there's also Be My Eyes too, right?
Yes.
yeah, I'm not sure if they have the functionality to take a picture and send it to you like IRA does. So.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I signed up as a volunteer for them last year too, but well, we'll see. So you guys are something that I think a lot of sighted people don't realize. You guys are a married couple, and you're blind, and Mike, you're visually impaired. Is that correct?
Well, I am. I consider myself, I guess, from a cultural perspective, blind because I've lost a lot of vision over the years. But yeah, so I for all intents and purposes, yeah, we're both blind. So
So Jonna, tell me a little bit about your life, starting
Well,
now.
I have what's called retinopathy prematurity. So I progressively lost my sight over the years. I lost the remaining vision that I had in my 20s. So for over 20 years now, I have been completely blind, including I see no light either. No light perception, nothing.
Ah,
Um, but I grew up knowing that I was going to lose it, and I often tell people that I was given the choice as a young girl. You can either find ways to adapt or you can be bitter and angry. But in either case, you're going to lose your vision and have to learn to function as a blind person. So I chose, while I was still in the quote-unquote sighted world, to learn how to do things as if I had no sight. And I was blessed with grandparents who helped me excel at all of that. They taught me a lot of what I know about cooking, and they taught me to find different ways to do things, to challenge myself, to learn ways around navigating without having sight.
wow,
Um,
that sounds wonderful. So, did your grandparents raise you?
Off and on. That's a long story, but I lived with them
Yeah.
off and on for most of my young life. Um, and a little bit more about me. I work at Bender Consulting Services, which is a company that specifically promotes employment opportunities for individuals with all types of disabilities. Our boss lives with a disability as well, and she is passionate about helping individuals with disabilities. Well, actually, I shouldn't say helping. Helping, I was told the other day, is not the correct word. She is passionate about individuals with disabilities finding competitive employment opportunities in the workplace.
Oh, that's great, because that's one of the issues. That's one of the issues that we always cover too. That's part of the reason that the show and the podcast exists, because if an employer, potential employer, has never met a blind person, they still probably have this 1952 view of people who are blind. So if you get a chance to hear and meet people, at least through the media, of people who are blind or visually impaired, there's a better chance of them hiring you.
Mhm. Mhm. And I am an accessibility consultant. I test websites and mobile applications for accessibility to make sure that those platforms are able to be used just as a sighted person would. I also am a recruitment outreach specialist. I contact different referral sources in multiple locations to talk to them about the jobs that we have available. And I am a resource manager, which means I do outreach to employees that we manage on site in different companies that we partner with. I talk with them and I bring up any concerns or needs they may have with their managers. I provide them positive feedback. I'm there for them to answer any questions they may need. I am typically their go-to person. And that's really about it for me in a nutshell, and I love to cook. Okay.
I can tell that, and we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to want your phone number at the very end so that people who are looking for employment could give you a call. Is that correct?
I can actually direct them to our website and give my email address.
Okay, great. And Mike, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Okay.
7 years ago.
More than that. I don't have even a score, but
Oh my.
Yeah. Anyway, my name is Mike Gravitt. I'm Johna's other half. I live here in Pittsburgh. I'm a Virginia native though, but I've lived here in 1998, so I've been here half my life now, so I consider myself an official Yenzer now. So you can Google that later. It's perfectly safe word.
I was just going to say, what in the heck is a Yenzer?
That's a perfectly safe word to Google. Winzer. A Yenzer. That's a nickname for someone from Pittsburgh. So
Yenzer. A
Yenzer. Or Yinzer.
Yenzer.
Yeah, because everyone doesn't say, how are y'all doing, or how are you guys doing? How are Yens doing?
Wow. I've learned something new already. I've never heard that.
When you first spelled that, I thought you said W-Y, and I was going to put
did I say yes. Did I say W-Y? I meant Y-I. Yeah, Y-I. What did I say? Yeah, Y-I-N-Z-E-R.
And then I was going to pipe in and say, I never knew it was spelled with a W, and I live here.
It's a Yenzer, not a Windsor. That's a city in Ontario, right? That's spelled differently. Anyway.
But you digress.
Boy, did I ever. So, I moved here. I worked for Bender Consulting Services as well as a contractor through them at Bayer Corporation, as in Bayer Aspirin. I did IT work at Bayer for 21 years, and then last year I transitioned over and started employment with Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield here in Pittsburgh, and still continuing to do information technology and some digital accessibility work as well for Highmark. I've been visually impaired / blind my entire life. I have a slightly different condition than John. I have retinitis pigmentosa, which is another disease of the retina. It's hereditary. So I've been legally blind since birth, but I kind of transitioned through time and just kind of lost more vision gradually since then. So when I was younger, I could still see well enough. I didn't need a dog or a guide dog or a cane. I could still read print with magnification, or read a computer if I put my face in the screen, or played Atari or Nintendo games, things like that. But then as time went on, I lost more and more vision. So now I live my life more like a blind person. I do have a guide dog that I use to travel around whenever we do travel anymore. It seems like we're not doing much of that nowadays, because we're all working from home. So.
Well, how did
uh,
you guys meet?
on a blind date. She hates when I tell that joke. Anyway,
No, I don't.
He's probably heard it 1,000 times, right, Johna?
I plead the fifth on the grounds that it may incriminate
she's heard
me.
it 37 score times. So, yeah. So actually, no, we met through a mutual friend. So.
Well, were you both working at Bender at the time?
Actually, no. Yeah,
That's a long story.
Yeah. Johna basically, she began her employment after we had met. So.
Well, I'm sorry. Go on,
Johna. Nope. Go ahead.
No. Go for it.
When Mike and I first met, I still lived in Rhode Island. I was previously married and in Rhode Island at that time, and we kept in touch on Facebook for a few years. And then when my late husband passed away, I came to Pittsburgh, and Mike and I started dating, and things have been great ever since.
The rest is history. Well, I remember when you guys came to Miami and we went riding around South Beach. Now, there may be a few sighted people going, why do blind people go to the beach? And your answers would be?
Well, I challenge anyone who can see to go to the beach and close your eyes and see how much you can still appreciate, with the sounds, the smell. You feel the sun on you, feel the breeze coming from the ocean, the smell of the water, the sand under your feet. So there's a lot of other sensory aspects, at least for me, to the beach. Plus it's when you don't live at the beach, the grass is always greener, right? I'm sure.
Or the water is always bluer, right?
Right. Well, that's true. Yeah, because I'm sure people who live at the beach that spend a lot of time there love to vacation somewhere where there is no beach, and that happens vice versa too. So.
And for me, I love the sound of the waves. That is one of my most favorite. It is such a soothing sound, a very calming, relaxing sound. And I love the feel of the ocean breeze, like Mike had said, and I love the smell.
That sounds great. I think, the next time I go to the beach, I think I will do that. Just close my eyes. Living there for like 37 years, after a while, you just sort of take it for granted, but it was fun to see how you guys were just taking it all in and enjoying it.
Yeah. You're making me want to go again. So.
Well, you don't really want to go because that pandemic is pretty bad down there. Now they've got a hurricane, so all heck is breaking loose.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
One other vacation we could talk about real quick is the cruises we went on. Mike, if you wanted to share a little bit about that, because I'm sure people also wonder, why would we go on a cruise when most cruises are sightseeing?
Well, that's true. That's one aspect of cruises, but there's always a lot of entertainment and a lot of food and quite frankly, a lot of downtime on a cruise too. If you choose, cruises are dynamic. Anyone who's never been on one, you can choose sort of the things you do, whether you want to do the shows, entertainment. There's even a casino on most cruise ships. Then when you port, you can either go on prepaid excursions, or you can just kind of go venture out on your own and do your own thing. So, and we just like. To me, you can't really appreciate how big the world is until you're in the middle of the ocean. So it's just a really neat feeling to me. So just to be in the middle of nowhere, literally. So.
Well, tell me before we get into the cooking part, which is Johna's forte. Um, what are some of the funniest things that have happened to you, especially since you're a married blind couple? Things people have said, things people have done. I'm sure you probably could write like several volumes.
Well, speaking of Miami, one of the, was that Miami that happened, or was that was in,
I don't remember.
it was, that was in St. Pete Beach. We
Yes,
went on a
yes, yes, yes,
vacation.
yes.
Yeah, and we were checking into the hotel, and a gentleman was assisting us getting to our room from the lobby, because we didn't want to just randomly go put our key in a bunch of different rooms till we found the right one. That one, that would have actually been kind of entertaining, though. Anyway,
Hey, the next vacation, now you know what you're gonna do.
that's true. And the gentleman asked us if we were brother and sister. And he assumed we were siblings instead of we were married. So it's like, no, we're married, and and he seemed really surprised by that. So but I guess it's always interesting, because we live in our own little bubble. We're used to our situation, and we're used to quite frequently being around people for the most part that are used to our situation. But then we run into these occasional situations like that where someone may have never observed a blind person before or had some preconceived misconceptions, and just to kind of witness situations like that, and you're suddenly just taken aback, and like, how do you respond to that? How do you handle that? I'm sure the look on our face was kind of priceless. I'm sure, like, what?
That's right. Sure, because brothers and sisters always go to hotels together.
Right.
That's just sort of a weird thought in and of itself.
And the fact that we were going into a room with one bed and not, a brother and sister would typically, if that was to happen, would probably have, two separate beds. Although, in his defense, he hadn't seen the room yet when he took us there. It's like maybe he didn't realize what kind of room we had. So
I don't know. He worked there.
yeah, but still, I'm sure you don't remember every room number, what kind of room it is. So
yeah.
You know what? I get used to asking like personal questions and stuff about the blindness to you guys and other people. I know you guys have a great sense of humor. Have you guys ever been offended at a question someone's asked you about your blindness?
Oh, one personal experience that will probably stay with me for the rest of my life offended me. When I was, as I mentioned before, I was married before, and my husband was sighted, and we were at a family event, and a family member of mine came up to him and introduced herself and said, "Thank you for taking care of Johna Lynn." Yeah, that's probably the one and only thing that has ever offended me that I can think of. So,
Right. It's like you're a little girl for the rest of your life in her mind.
no, it
Like
was
you couldn't
more
take
of
care
I'm
of
a
yourself.
person with a disability that needed to be taken care of.
Right.
So I give my husband credit. At the time, he said, "I don't need to take care of her. As a matter of fact, she takes really good care of me."
That's a good answer. That's a great answer.
And that ended up being so true. I mean, in a lot of ways, you did.
It did. Yeah, I was going to say that did end up being true. In the end, he passed away of stage 4 lung cancer. So in the end,
wow.
I was taking care of him. But it just goes to show the level, even your own family, to the degree that they do not understand your disability and they are a family member. So I often take the time to educate people about what it's like to be blind and what I can do and the things that I need help with. But I enjoy it. I enjoy being able to show people, or quote unquote prove to people that yes, I can do things just like you do. with the exception of driving, and maybe that'll happen eventually too with self-driving cars. We'll see.
Yeah, well, they got the self-driving cars now. They just keep running into each other, you know. The accidents keep coming, but
A blind person must have programmed them.
Right. Bumper cars. Whoever developed the bumper cars developed the self-driving car, right? So.
there you go. What a great idea. I used to love those as a kid. But Johna, okay, so let's get to the meat of the deal here. Tell
No
us
pun
about your
intended.
cooking abilities. No pun intended.
Well, as I said before, my grandparents were very instrumental in helping me to learn to do things, and they taught me how to cook. They started the process. My late husband was a chef before he had the casino job that he worked at when he and I were married, and he taught me a lot of things. And I just developed different strategies over the years because I found that I enjoyed cooking. And the more people I had to cook for, the more I enjoyed it. And Mike and I just recently moved into our first home together.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We were living in an apartment before, and so when we moved into this home, one of our first housewarming gifts was a grill, Weber Kettle Charcoal Grill. And I have not had a charcoal grill since a long time. We'll just say a long time. So I wanted to cook on it. I have always wanted to prepare meals on the grill, and we couldn't do that when we had the apartment. So I have been smoking foods lately.
I'm glad you finished that sentence off. I was, waiting for what the rest of it was.
Okay. Smoking. I get it. I get it. I was like, I was getting to the. Okay. So I did a lot of research on smoking.
Smoking
grill.
meat. Okay.
Smoking meat, yes.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research and.
Like glaucoma. No, okay, go on.
Okay.
It's 4:20 somewhere.
Sorry. Go on. Sorry,
no,
my bad.
That's fine. So I have done a lot of research on different types of meats that you can smoke and what the best way is, because I wanted to be able to create more than just grilled food. So I bought a smoker box, and then I researched wood chips, and I bought a different variety of wood chips. And I decided a few days ago I was going to smoke baby back ribs. So I'll give you the rundown of the steps that I followed.
Sounds great.
Okay, so these ribs were smoked for 7 hours. I started with putting charcoal on half of the grill and a pan of water on the other side, which is called indirect heat. So you put the meat that you are smoking over the pan of water, not the charcoal. Mm-hmm. You put the smoker box with your chips in it on top of the charcoal. Now, you only use about 3 handfuls, and I do not soak my chips because the smoker box that I bought specifically said not to smoke the chips.
Or wet the chips, you mean?
Soak the chips, yeah, that's what I meant. Mm-hmm. So the chips I chose to use were peach.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, a side note, I bought strawberry guava wood chips from Hawaii, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. And
do you have just like a little wood chip area in your house where you have, like people have fine wines, you have your wood chip?
You know what, that's hilarious, because I have a cellar downstairs in my basement that you could put wines in, but yes, it does have all of my grill stuff in it, including 11 varieties of wood chips.
Oh, my God, I didn't even know there were that many.
We keep them separate from the dog chips, so.
Oh.
So, anyway, you want the grill to be at about 200 to 250 degrees. I'm not going to go into to how you regulate the temperature on a grill, unless you really need me to. But it's basically closing the bottom vent and the vent on the lid to a certain width opening to lower the temperature. And then I use Ira to help me read the temperature gauge so I know that it's at the correct temperature. I took the ribs and I rubbed them with mustard, spicy Dijon mustard, and a blend of chipotle pepper spice. So that's how I started. I did them for about 3.5 hours just on the rack over the indirect heat. Then I wrapped them in aluminum foil with the rest of the chipotle spice mixed with a homemade grandma's berry jam. I don't have the recipe for that. That was another friend of mine makes that homemade. But I wanted the sweet and spice together to make like a glaze over the ribs. So I put that on the ribs when I wrapped them in aluminum foil, and then I finished smoking them. Now, it was my first time ever smoking them. They did come out good. They were not fall off the bone tender, but they were pretty good. So I think the next time I do it, I'll smoke them longer. But they did turn out really well.
That sounds amazing.
And last night, I made stuffed burgers on the grill.
Oh, my God. What did you stuff them with?
Colby Jack cheese and peppered bacon and a little bit of Creole seasoning.
Oh, now how do you get it so that your stuffing doesn't fall out? Asking for a friend.
Okay. So actually, no. So you shape your meat into almost like a meatball, and then you place the bacon and cheese on top, and then you continuously roll the meat ball into a patty shape and flatten it so your stuffing ends up on the inside.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to try that next time.
You are, or your friend?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my friend. My imaginary friend.
Your imaginary friend, yes.
Snuffleupagus. No, I'm just kidding.
Didn't they eventually reveal? Didn't they eventually quit making him hidden from the show, where everybody knew who he was? I think that eventually was revealed on the show on Sesame Street, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I think so.
I thought Snuffy always had the imaginary friend, but I don't remember.
No, everyone thought Big Bird's imaginary friend was Snuffleupagus.
Oh, okay.
They didn't think he really existed, because every time someone else would come around, he'd walk away.
Oh.
But then they finally made it where other people knew who he was. So.
Okay.
Well,
anyway, there's your Sesame Street history for the day. I'll do my Elmo impersonation later. So.
Do it now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, come on. Let's your Elmo impersonation. Yeah.
And we're talking about Sesame Street, so.
He's
while
in the
we're
bathroom.
at it. Oh no.
Okay.
So what's one of your greatest cooking tips that you would that you normally use?
Oh my.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite cooking tip?
Uh-huh.
Make sure your food's done. I don't know. I really don't have an answer for that question. Just if you're going to cook anything for the first time, I suggest following the recipe, because you will know after you've done it what you can add and take away from.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. I typically try to follow a recipe from start to finish if it's the first time ever making it. That's really...
That actually makes a lot of sense, because cooking is one of those things you can just do with intuition, but you might as well try the recipe the first time around, and as you say, you'll know how it is. What's your favorite dinner that she makes for you, Mike?
Yes.
Meaning all of them, right?
All of them. No, I especially like the burgers. It's nothing better than a good bacon cheeseburger. So, maybe I'm just a little simple, but it is my favorite. And I like when she
Oh.
makes steaks as well. So, or bacon wrapped
Mm.
filet mignon is really good.
Oh my gosh. You guys are making me so hungry again. I have to go to the grocery store after this. I'm just going to run over there and I'm going to buy everything because this just sounds so amazing.
Well,
Hey, guys.
I have grill skewers for my grill, and a couple weeks ago I made bacon wrapped scallops on the grill.
Nice.
So
You guys are
speaking
like bacon fans.
of,
But here's one thing that she found that was really interesting, though, that we haven't covered yet, is taking certain frozen items and putting them on the grill. Like she took frozen pizza and grilled it, and frozen pierogies, and
Oh.
grilled those. Yes.
Oh, I've never thought about grilled pierogies. My family my ancestors are just twirling in their grave right now. Never knew about the grilled pierogies.
You never had a pierogi till you've had one that's grilled.
I didn't even know you could do it. I forget how I stumbled upon that on a Google search for something. Just like I decided to Google, can I cook a frozen pizza on the grill? And it took me right to the DiGiorno website. And I happened to have DiGiorno pizza in my freezer. And it was like, this is how you grill it. This is the temperature you want it. And I already had it's a nacho platter for the grill, but it doubles as a pizza stone. So you
Oh
can,
yeah. I know what you
yeah.
mean.
So I cooked the DiGiorno pizza on it, and it was awesome. And you can, any of the vegetables that you buy, vegetables don't have to be fresh to go on the grill. That's a popular misconception. Any frozen vegetable that you buy in the store, you can cook on the grill. And I prefer the steam and bag vegetables because so my thing lately has been to take broccoli. What did I do before? It was broccoli, snow peas, zucchini,
yeah.
and asparagus.
Which is really interesting because I normally can't stand zucchini.
But
it
it
really
was
good.
so good.
Yeah.
And so I just put it in the grill pan that I have with a lid, and a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt and pepper, and you let it cook alongside whatever meat you're cooking on the grill. And because the pan has holes in the lid, you get the smoky flavor infused into it. And it's the best way ever to make frozen vegetables on the grill. And so I've been experimenting with lots of different. I made salmon fillets a couple weeks ago for the first time.
On the grill, right?
Yes. I have a fish basket for the grill. I did a lot of research and bought a lot of different things for my grill so I could try to cook different things.
Yeah, I'm just waiting one morning. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna have grilled oatmeal for breakfast or something.
Well,
grilled
you
cream
guys,
of wheat.
as a Miami person, I've spent we lose our during hurricanes we lose our electricity a lot of times, and so I've used the grill to cook all sorts of foods, but that was mainly as a survival tactic. Uh, I've made spaghetti on the grill, and but what you're saying is truly amazing. Like I love grilled salmon. It's delicious. It's the best. So we're gonna end up here, but give me something, each of you, that you want people to take away from this. Our motto is changing the way we see blindness. Something that everyone can take away from this whole discussion, and how we can just look at people who are blind in a different way.
I have something. When you see in your daily lives somebody who's blind or somebody with a disability, try not to view them as a person with a disability, but look at them with a person who has different abilities. And if you feel the need to offer them help, ask them how you can best help them and let them tell you.
That's a good one. That's very good.
Yeah, and I think, from my perspective, it's been kind of an interesting observation for me since the beginning of the pandemic to watch how people have had to adapt to doing things differently, and in a lot of situations, starting to do things that we've been doing them all along. Especially like getting food delivered, and things of that nature. But I think everyone can honestly say they've had to make some sort of adaptation the past few months in how they live their life. But at the end of the day, they're still accomplishing the same things. They're just having to do them differently. That's the same way with us. We basically have spent our entire lives adapting to different ways of doing things. We still get them done in the end, but it's just we just do them differently. We find ways of workarounds. So
I love that. That's true. We've all had to adapt, and then that's basically your life. You adapt all the time, constantly, right?
Right. And not that blindness is a pandemic, but it's so don't take that away. But imagine that. Oh no. Yeah, we're not contagious. I promise. Don't wear masks over your eyes when you come across us either. It won't
or
help.
anywhere else on your body,
Right. So, yeah, but it's just we do things differently. We get them done though.
Well, if anyone wants to get a hold of you guys and for information, or maybe just for a good laugh and for a smile,
or a good cry.
Well, I can give you a couple different ways to get a hold of me.
Okay.
First of all, my email address is jgravitt, and that is spelled JGRAV as in Victor, ITT, at benderconsult.com, and that's B as in boy, ENDERCONSULT.com. You can find me on Facebook by looking up Johna Lynn Gravitt, and that's JOHNA. And you can also visit the Bender Consulting's website if you're interested in employment opportunities, and we also have a virtual career fair coming up very soon, and that would be www.benderconsult.com/careers/job-openings.
That's great. Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I was going to say, for me, you can email me at mgravitt2@gmail.com, so MGRAVITT, the number 2, @gmail.com, or you can search for Mike Gravitt on Facebook. It's listed under Highmark Health as my employer, so I think there's a picture of myself with a yellow dog, my guide dog Lola, for those of you who can see the photo. And I was just going to say, too, a lot of times when I get friend requests on Facebook, if I don't have a lot of mutual friends, sometimes I think they're spam, so it may not hurt to also send me a private message saying, hey, I heard you on the Cooking Without Looking podcast, and I would like to be your friend.
Oh, and that sounds wonderful. Thank you guys for being here on a Saturday morning. I really enjoyed speaking with you again. Again, you guys are like one of my favorite couples in the world. All the best for you in the future. And thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Renee Rentmeester, the Cooking Without Looking TV show podcast. We're changing the way people see blindness, and our website is cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks you
for having us.
Got him in there. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wait a minute.